So if you're watching this, you're probably, as the title says, a good guy, or you see yourself as a good guy anyway. And as a former good guy, I want to kind of give you a bit of understanding and a bit of an in-depth look at what a good guy actually is and why you don't want to be one. Because for a long time, I was quite similar to you. I viewed myself as a good guy when really I was just a insecure, traumatized little boy. In this video, my goal is to kind of make you understand why you do the things you do and how to stop doing it, because you're clearly not enjoying it if you clicked on this video. And that is the secret to the good guy experience. From the outside, it looks like, you're just a happy-go-lucky, nice guy who is just, happy to serve people. You're happy to take the scraps. You're happy to have the leftovers of life. And, you do what you're told and you don't complain about it. But behind this veil of, seemingly like, pretty, let's be honest, pretty inoffensive, like not very dangerous guy, there's a bit of a, how do I say, you got a bit of a mean streak to you, should I say. You've got a bit of a vindictive side to you. And that's because the nice guy is really a very insecure guy. The nice guy is often someone who has learned through their experiences, probably with their parents, that their thoughts and opinions and their feelings don't matter. And everyone else's feelings matter more than theirs. So why wouldn't you put other people in front of you? Why wouldn't you allow people to walk all over you? It's how you've been nurtured. It's the way that you've been taught to live. And something that I had to really understand about myself was that a lot of my, nice guy tendencies just came from me wanting to control people. That probably felt a bit weird, didn't it? Because you're probably starting to understand that a lot of your tendencies, your nice guy tendencies, comes from a place of you wanting to control people. You believe that if people like you, they'll do what you want them to. Mm-hmm. Yep, you believe that if people, if you're this inoffensive sort of nice character, that people will feel more inclined to be nice to you. They'll be more inclined to do things that you like, do things that you want them to do. And the funny thing is about us nice guys. Well, I wouldn't say us nice guys. I'm not a nice guy anymore. See, because it's not my identity. But we'll get to that later. But something that nice guys do is they hide their true intentions behind a smile. They hide their malicious intent behind don't worry, you got it. It's all yours. And in all honesty, they hide their fear of confrontation behind every thank you, behind every sorry. There's a sense that you don't believe that, you're worth being here. The sense that you don't believe that you deserve to take up space. And that's that's one of the one things I want to get through to you here, is that you do deserve to take up space. You do deserve to have an opinion. You do deserve to be seen and be understood for who you are. And maybe you've been taught that in your life, that your wants and your desires aren't as important as other people, and that, you can do with the scraps, you can do with having to pick up the shit from everyone else. I want you to know that that wasn't who you were. That was just how you were treated. You weren't put on this earth to be a nice guy. You weren't put on this earth to bend to what everyone else wants you to do. You weren't put on this earth to simply be another another number who just hides their whole life. I don't know. You've probably told yourself this before, but it's okay for you to, stand up for yourself. It's okay for you to, stand up for what you believe in, even if people around you don't. Because a major part of this nice guy act that you're putting on, and I do say act because I do believe you're acting. I don't believe that's who you truly are. But a big part of the nice guy act is that you make yourself small to give space to other people. And then you hold contempt against these people who take up the space that you offered them. Think about how often have you felt pissed off and annoyed at people in your life who over and over again take advantage of your kindness, who use your kindness as weakness. Yet as soon as they ask for another favor, you're like, oh yeah, sure, no worries, I got you, man. What is that about? That is purely people pleasing. Putting your wants, your needs, maybe even sometimes your actual health and your livelihood as a second thought to making this person happy right now. And that's the thing I want you to understand. It is right now. They're only happy in that moment. And probably barely even happy. They're just happy they got to do what they wanted to do, and you were the easiest way to get there. Because that's the hard pill to swallow as a nice guy. You think you're doing things to help other people, when really, let's be honest, there's something about this act of being selfless that you get a kick out of. It's almost like a weird little fetish you got. you kind of like when people step on your balls, metaphorically, of course. You kind of like when people see you as, being less than or pathetic, because it puts you back into that safe space the way that you felt maybe when you were a kid. Maybe when your mum, told you off and told you to go to your room and you had to sit there for hours. Maybe when you allowed those people in school to make jokes and make fun of you because you didn't want to, start anything. You didn't want to, say anything back because, that would cause confrontation. And of course, someone like you can't handle confrontation. Or at least that's what you tell yourself. So I want to kind of talk you through the transformation of going from a nice guy to probably a more secure person who is kind. And that's how I view myself now. I feel like I'm someone who's secure. I know when I am comfortable enough to go out of my way to help people, but I also know when and how to say no. And I think this is a skill. I will say a skill because it's something that you have to learn how to do, but it's a skill that is so invaluable in this world. Because the truth is, until you learn how to say no, people will take and take and take from you until you have nothing left for yourself. And that's a harsh reality. If you don't become someone who's able to know when to say no, someone who's able to know when, let's be honest, you've kind of bitten off more than you can chew. That's a very important part of being a well-rounded, secure person, knowing your boundaries, knowing your limits. And you being this nice guy, you've taken on this sort of superhero role for people in your life. Whenever people need a favor, regardless of what you're going through, you're the first person to raise your hand. But when you need help, when you're going through things, when you're struggling, you like to suffer in silence. You like to sit through it all with a fake stoicism. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I've handled worse. When I go through things, I know I can handle it. All I gotta do is isolate myself for a bit, and eventually I forget about it. Yeah, that doesn't fucking work, does it? Anyway, what I wanna really focus on now is getting you from the person you are now, which is this weird, fake, nice guy exterior, to becoming a more secure person, as I said before. So, as I said, the most important thing you need to learn is to say no. And trust me, it's gonna feel fucking uncomfortable. It's gonna be a part of you that's gonna be screaming out like, fuck, I really wish I could be there for this person or be who this person needs right now. But I need you to get comfortable with disappointing people. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? Disappointment. When people have expectations of you because you've always been able to do something and suddenly you're just saying no. And to them, maybe they feel like there's no reason for you to say no. The reason is because I don't want to. The reason is because I have things I want to focus on. And those are reasons enough. Because what you'll be tempted to is try and basically almost try and find an excuse for yourself of why you should be able to be the Superman. Why you should be able to be this guy that's always there for people. And let's be honest, it's bullshit. Because you know how much it takes, or how much of a load it is for you to take on other people's emotions, other people's problems, and have to basically, be left to your own devices when it comes to your own problems. It sucks. It's not a fun experience, and that leads you to being angry at people. That leads you to being angry at yourself. And we all know where that goes. So you need to be able to have that courage, have the strength, have the security in yourself to disappoint people. You also need to have the trust in yourself that you are making the right decision. Because let's be honest, a lot of us guys who see ourselves as nice guys, a lot of time we don't actually trust our own perception. We don't trust our own instincts. Again, maybe because we weren't taught to do this as kids. Maybe we were over policed, and our parents always hovering over us, telling us what to do and what we shouldn't do. But the truth is, for a lot of us, we're grown ups now. We're adults. We can make our own decisions. You need to get comfortable with sometimes falling on your own sword, deciding what you want to do, going for it, and being prepared. Well, not prepared, but being open to the fact that maybe it won't go the way I want, and knowing that you're going to be okay even if it doesn't. Because a large part of this nice guy persona is that you're afraid of the unknown. You're afraid what would happen if you stand up for yourself. You're afraid of what will happen if you finally tell that person in your life no. And the biggest thing you're afraid of is abandonment. You're afraid of them leaving your life. You're afraid of them just walking out. And it's probably because you've got some sort of anxious attachment to the people in your life, and you want to always make sure that you're on their good side. It's easier said than done, but you really need to get used to not being able to be everything for everyone all the time. You should be your number one priority in this short life that we get. And every time that you're not, every time that you allow other people's will and other people's needs to, trump your own, what you're doing is abandoning yourself. What you're doing is betraying yourself. And that is a way worse feeling than, letting other people down. Letting yourself down, betraying yourself, like having to deal with the consequences of not standing up for yourself when you needed to. It stings. And I want you to avoid that feeling at all costs, because it's fucked. So, for any nice guys out there that are watching this, I hope you've gained some knowledge from this. I hope you've gained some perspective. And yeah, stop being a nice guy. Start being a kind, secure man. You got this. Speak soon.